Oh, look at that. Should we just do the interview in German? Do you think that would work, Nikolaj?
Well, we could, but it would be very short.
Man, so many of these people are here to see you.
That was so amazing with the dragon, with the Pixelmonto. How cool was that?
I know. Did you learn something new watching the presentation?
Yeah, I thought I was going to go find that booth. The school. Oh, yeah, that's me.
Oh yeah, that is you, very big up on screen. So thank you so much for being here, Nikolaj. It's our honor to have you. And this is our first edition of the CCXP Cologne. Did you have some time to look around?
I did.
Yeah? Do you like what you see?
It looks very professional, very impressive. To experience the success of that show has been overwhelming. And just to be here now and all you guys, it's I still find it quite insane. But it's fun. But I mean, changing your life, I don't know. I think if you know, you think back 10 years when we started, it's 10 years now, more or less, we started shooting the pilot. Yeah, my life has changed. But I think if you think back 10 years, you would also think, yeah, your life changed. I don't know what caused it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, that absolutely makes sense. So do you remember your first script reading with the other cast? And back then, would you have thought that Jaime and this whole show would become that big?
No, nobody imagined. I remember the first reading at the pilot. It was quite tense. We had 3 cameras shooting, and they told us before. They said, "This is just for like behind the scenes." But you think they're going to cut someone, and they said, "No, we're not going to cut." Next day, 2 actors lost their jobs. so it was. But listen, we didn't expect it. We shot the pilot, the original pilot. We had to reshoot most of it because it was not very good. We actually, at the premiere of the last season, the original cast members got together, and Dan Weiss and David Benioff, the creators, they showed us the original pilot, and I really hope it will never be shown. It's so bad.
Jaime is such a special character because at the beginning you think like, oh, okay.
He's one of the only ones with a name that you remember. I mean, all the other guys, you kind of have to watch 3 or 4 episodes because you go, what?
That is true also. And
Varys, Tyrion. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
And that's fine. And Jaime, he has such a special development that he makes. What is it you really, really like about this character?
Well, I think one of the great things about the show and about this character is the nuances that I remember reading the first script, and you know, at the end of the script, he's having sex with his sister and tries to kill an innocent boy, and I thought this is a fantastic way to start a character, because how can you like someone like that? He's just horrible. He's got no morals and all these things. And then, of course, I spoke to the creators, and they explained the first 3 seasons. So the whole thing about don't judge a book by its cover, I think applies to Jaime. That you find out over the years that the whole Kingslayer name he's been given is, yeah, he killed the king, but he actually did it for quite good reasons, you know, to stop a genocide from happening. And yes, you should not have that kind of relation with your sister. But he loves her, you know, and then you can relate to the whole idea of falling in love with someone you shouldn't fall in love with. And he's actually a very loyal man, and I think he has a lot of good qualities. And I love the idea that you have to find out through the years. And then, of course, later on, he has such a great arc with Brienne of Tarth, which was a wonderful bonus, I think.
we all lived with the characters of Game of Thrones.
Why did he not? Why did he leave her again?
Why did he? Exactly. Right? I think we all thought that. Is it something where you went like, why did they write the script like that? Or did you think, well, they probably had reasons why they wrote it like this?
What's your
If it was up to you, would he have stayed with her?
Oh, no, if it was up to me, yeah, if you want to do what was good for him, like, no, but we all know people that we look at the relationship, you go, this is fucked up. I mean, please, you gotta leave him or leave her. It would be so much better for you, but you can only walk your own shoes. And for Jaime, me personally, looking at the show, I don't think there was any. He didn't have a choice. He had to go back to Cersei. Even though we were like, no, God damn it, it's so painful. I thought it made sense, and I thought it was beautiful, and I really liked the fact that, because everybody wanted Cersei dead, and I love the idea that at the very end, when she does die, it does leave you with a kind of a bitter taste in your mouth, which is great. I mean, yeah, well, I'm sure we're going to get to the final season questions.
Since you brought it up.
But think about it this way. It's been like this every season, more or less. I remember season 1, Ned Stark died after episode 9 aired. People went crazy. We were never going to watch this piece of shit show again. It's the worst thing. How could you kill Ned Stark? He's the hero. God damn you, HBO, my subscription has been cancelled. And then the ratings went up. And after episode 3 of season 8, people did an online petition. And 1 million people signed up, and the week after the ratings went up. I'm not saying there's anything right or wrong. I'm just saying I love it really is, and it sounds weird maybe. I thought it was wonderful with all the passion. I know for some of my colleagues it was a little difficult. To be honest, they found it difficult to deal with.
For who?
Give us names. Give us names. No, but it was you know, the thing about when you're online and you get passionate about something, you kind of forget that there are recipients sometimes. That's the beauty of social media. Did you hear about the online petition for Stranger Things, by the way?
I haven't. You guys?
It was, because you had the great Game of Thrones, then there was an online petition for Netflix had to cancel Good Omens. And Netflix tweeted out saying, done, you're right, we're gonna cancel Good Omens. Then Amazon tweeted out, okay, well, we will cancel Stranger Things then. So the people who did this whole petition didn't know that Good Omens was not on Netflix. It was a show from Amazon. But you can still get carried away. I know that thing, I read something on Facebook, yes, it's terrible. I have no idea what it is, but it sounds bad. Anyway, where were we? You were asking me questions and I started talking, and
I think since you brought it up, we have to talk about the last season and the last episodes. We all lived with your characters so long.
Well, let me say one thing,
yes.
Because I was thinking about this. Every year between seasons, after season 4, 5, when we went off book, nobody knew what was going to happen. Us actors, right? And I hate that. I like to know what's going to happen next. So of course you spend a year imagining what's going to happen. I think you might know the feeling of like you imagine, well, I think Jaime's going to do this, and when he finds out, that's going to. And then I get the script, and of course it's nothing like what I imagined. So every year I spend a week or 2 weeks being really frustrated and having to talk to the writers and why are we doing this? And I don't understand that. And then slowly I realized, well, there is no alternative reality. There is only that script.
So now that everything is finished, are you satisfied with your ending?
Yeah, Jaime's ending.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, but, yeah, I'm satisfied. I mean, it's the ending. It's my point is there is no alternative. There's not like, HBO is not gonna do another season 8. I mean, it's what it is, and I think if you watch the whole thing in one go and not have to wait 2 years, it'll grow on you. I mean, having said that, I mean, there's a lot of people who kind of liked it, who didn't. But I understand there are people that were unhappy with, especially the ones that named their daughters Daenerys because he was the hero turned into. But I still find that a little surprising that you didn't see that one coming. I mean, that was she kind of. I mean, a girl who was given away to a pretty and violently raped, and then she had the most extreme Stockholm syndrome I've ever seen, and then had her brother killed in front of her, and she didn't really. That was like, oh yeah, well, he was a bit of an asshole, so he deserved that. I mean, she had issues.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, but I understand if you have your little daughter, it's called Daenerys, and suddenly you have to explain her why she can't play with fire anymore. Yeah, we shot in Spain in a place called Cáceres, outside of Cáceres. It was amazing. It was 3-4 weeks. I loved that whole. It was so much fun, and the whole episode was one of my favorite episodes of the season. That action sequence was just the execution. I love horses, and the horse wranglers on Game of Thrones are just some of the best. The stun guys, I mean, they were standing on horseback and coming down the Dothraki before this. It was, one of my best memories from shooting.
Can we stop people English on screen?
Yes.
I absolutely love the relationship between your two characters. That was like a highlight for me. Do you still keep the bromance alive?
Yes, of course. Yes. No, I mean, there are, a lot of friendships, and that's not going to go away. And when you have had an experience, like if you share 10 years together on something like this, I think that's always going to be a bond, unbreakable. So, Lena, Peter, Jerome, Gwendolyn, of course, it's a lot of great friends.
I would love to give our audience the chance to ask you some questions also, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who have some interesting questions. Do we have a microphone? Yes, we do. Perfect.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Calvin from Brazil, and I would like to ask a question still related to the episode 5 from season 8, where Jaime makes the decision to go back to Cersei. And it was during a long time, there was this theory around the fandom about the Valonqar that Jaime will be the one actually killing Cersei. It was between him and Tyrion. Do you feel that the way that actually ended, the way that actually the both of your characters ended up would be, I don't know, it will be how much it will be for you if actually that prophecy would be the actual ending?
Thank you for the question. You came all the way from Brazil. Well, cool. There are a lot of ideas, there's so many ways you could go. I think I like the simplicity, and I like the truthfulness to that. And I think that the fact is that for a moment he tried to live the dream of what if I could cut the ties. Clearly there's a real connection with this Brienne. What if I could just, close my eyes and the past would be gone. But the woman, the woman that he shared his life with, he had 3 kids with. Another one coming is about to get overrun and killed by, the rest of the world. It's impossible for him not to try and go back. So I think it made sense. I always imagined in my mind that it was going to be Arya disguised as Jaime who would do it, right? And I thought, wow, that's cool, because clearly we've seen so much of this face swapping, we're going to get there. But I think, as I said before, there's all these alternatives. We could all, and I'm sure all of us here could think of 100 different cool endings or different variations. The thing is, there are only 2 or 3 guys who are writing this, and this is what they came up with, and there is no alternative. This is it. And I thought it made sense, and I thought it was a beautiful, sad ending. My favorite last scene with Jaime is without Jaime. It's actually the scene with Gwendolyn, with Brienne of Tarth, when she's the commander of the Kingsguard, when she's filling in the blanks in the book. I thought that was very moving. Yeah.
One question over here. Hello.
Yes, hi. Nice to meet you. I want to know if there are any character traits of Jaime that are similar to you.
Any traits? We look alike. Actually,
Nothing else.
I had a guy come up to me last week and said, listen, you could make a lot of money being Jaime Lannister's vote. And I thought, yeah, I'm doing that. Traits, no, I think that I think I'm pretty loyal when it comes to, and family is very important to me. And also, I hate when people jump to conclusions about who I am based on what they've heard or stuff like that. And but there's a lot of things that are quite different.
I'm working in television and film business in the camera department, and it's very hard to get like productions in other countries. And you're from Denmark, but have been to huge productions like Game of Thrones, but other things before, and I wanted to know how did you make it from little Denmark to the big US and other productions?
Yeah, I guess it was. Thank you for the question. Well, it's a combination of you have to have some luck, and I guess a little bit of talent, and then you have to have a lot of perseverance. The beauty of being really young, when I was young, back when I was young, is that you have no idea that things are not going to work out like that. You just, I was just assumed that obviously this is going to work out. So it took me years to realize that, and thousands of rejections before I started doubting that. And then suddenly I got, I got breaks. But I don't think there is not a formula. You just have to crack at it.
You?
I guess once he lost his hand, not using my left hand, that's fine, but just hiding my right hand, that became in the first few seasons. Until I got my golden hand, I kept finding new ways to hide my hand. I mean, you learn something all the time. You have, of course, there's a lot of horseback riding. I knew some before, I got better at doing it. The challenge is always just getting it to work. And the funny thing is, you would think it got easier. I always felt like every season it was as if I was starting all over. That who is this guy? I don't understand it. I mean, that's just. So that was the challenge, and of course, with the success of something, you don't want to let people down. So I think there was a lot of pressure on all of us, especially going into the last season. Everybody, including the crew, was so focused and determined. And so, yeah. But I mean, challenges are good.
There is the microphone right now.
Okay.
Over there, perfect.
Hey, I like your outfit.
Thanks a lot.
Your family into Game of Thrones, not your Game of Thrones family, but your real family. Are your kids into Game of Thrones? Because my kids had me ending up like this.
So you're asking me my own family?
Exactly. Are they sitting there at the dining table and saying, Dad, why this and this theory and who is going to kill whom? Or is it just something they don't care about because this is your everyday business life?
Yes, they could not care less about their dad's job, which is good. And then my wife saw the pilot back in the day, and she still has to go and watch episode 2. So,
No
but
way.
she'll do that as soon as she has time. She keeps telling me. It's all good.
Hello.
Is that Brienne behind you there?
Yeah,
Very
she's
cool.
great.
Very cool.
Okay, sorry.
Hi, how are you here? I'm from Brazil also. Very good to see you here.
Well, nice to meet you.
I love Jaime's history, redemption story, but the question I have is, if you were not Lannister on the show, what character would you play?
I was not a Lannister. Well, I guess, hypothetically, well, first of all, I would be kind of disappointed. No, I don't know. I think they're all great. I don't know. The wildling, they seem to have the most fun. And they're free folk, right? That's what we want to be.
Thank you. Over there.
Hello. First of all, I want to say thank you for portraying James so brilliantly. You were amazing.
Thank you.
My question is, if you could talk about the relationship between Jaime and Brienne. What do you think? Do you think he truly loved her?
Brienne?
Yeah.
What's the phrase we've been using for 8 years? It's complicated. I think it's difficult for him to recognize love, even if it kicked him in the nuts, because he's been through a lot. I think he did love her, but he also couldn't stay with her. He also loves Cersei. There's no question about that. So. Yeah, in a parallel universe, they would be skipping down through the beautiful meadow right now. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm
Sophia.
actually from Cyprus, which is not as far as Indonesia or Brazil, but you know.
Very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. So I was wondering, how did you find the ending of who became king, and if you agreed with that, or if you thought someone else would have been a better choice?
I always thought they should get rid of the Iron Throne, so I thought that was pretty cool with the melting of the throne. I also, I guessed that Bran would become the king years ago, because I thought that, well, he's probably going to be the one. It's going to be a Stark. I like this, I mean, the whole, they divided the power between the North and the, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to argue with Bran because he kind of knows everything. So. But it had to end, so that was an ending. And I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I think it was great. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Hello.
First of all, thank you for coming to Germany.
Thank you.
Great. Well, I forgot my question. Wait. This is actually really weird talking kind of to you. So, okay, let me choose that one. What was your very worst fan encounter, besides of me, obviously, because I'm rambling still, but maybe a really awkward situation with you?
No, this is great. No, I haven't had any bad fan encounters. I've had some. I've had a few of where you go. That's bad timing.
For example?
Well, coming out of the bathroom. I mean, yesterday I was in a restaurant and I just opened the door from the stall, and there was a guy saying, "Can I please have a picture?" And I just felt my hand check. Did I unzip my? I mean, I was like, did I?
Did you take a picture with him?
We went outside. I said, "Can we just go outside?" But no, I mean, I don't. I mean, the thing is, if you sometimes you might not feel like doing a selfie, but then I just say I don't feel like it, and then I haven't had anyone go, "You have to," because people understand that. We all understand that, right? But no, if I'm with my family, I'm just I'm with my family. No. Oh yeah, but then there's the one I think I mentioned. There was a couple of that happened twice in the gym, while I was naked in the shower, when someone asked for a picture.
Well, that's a little bit comfortable, right?
I just started laughing. I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, next question.
Hello, my name is Nina. Thank you for being here. And my question would be, what was the most exhausting part while filming? Was it on night shift or anything else?
The most exhausting, we shot the end of season 7. There's this big get together between all the Westeros people, clans, families. I don't know if you remember. Jon Snow just been to collect a specimen of those. We have to show that to Cersei, and anyway, it took like 10 days to shoot, and the weather was like it is in Cologne today. That was agony. Because it was so boring, just sitting there waiting, right? So, no, but most of the time it's actually a lot of fun on Game of Thrones. I'm gonna miss, I'm suddenly realizing I'm gonna miss that. Oh, it's gonna be fine.
So we actually have one scene to watch where we could also do questions. I think it's pretty much up to our audience slide, right? Do you guys want to do questions?
Yeah.
Do you have more questions? I think there's someone. Yeah? Then let's take this beautiful girl over there with a microphone. Hello.
Is that Daenerys?
Yes, hi.
Hello.
My name is Santi, nice to have you here. I have a question about traveling. You have traveled a lot to different countries because of shooting Game of Thrones. Which one was your favorite place to be?
I thought you were going to ask me for like, what airline should we go? No, we shot I shot in Spain, in Croatia, in Northern Ireland. That was for me. And then the show also went to Malta and Iceland. I mean, it's not a very good, I love all places. Belfast was the home of Game of Thrones. Northern Ireland is just a wonderful place. So if I had to pick a place, it would have to be Belfast, Northern Ireland. What is the clip? I'm so curious. Anyway. Go ahead. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to have you here. First off, I met Lina in Munich 2 weeks ago, and she asked me to send you her lovely greetings.
Thank you.
And my question is about the final scene between Jaime and Cersei.
That is the clip, by the way, just so you know. That exactly is the clip.
So if you would have more time as Jaime, what would you do or say to her just in that final moment? Thank you.
I don't know. What's for lunch? What's going on? It was a wonderful ending to be with Lina. That when we shot that scene. And also I was like, yeah, maybe I should say, should we go back upstairs? Should we just get out of here? I don't know. I don't think they said, it's just you. I think it was perfect the way it ended. Look at me, it's just you and me, no one else, just us.
I feel like we need to see that right now, okay? Can we watch the scene, please?
I watch it. I remember back to shooting it, it was such an amazing set. I mean, everything was built as you saw it. I mean, I forgot his name, the visual effects.
Mike,
and there are thousands of people like him working on the show, and you just, I really appreciate the achievement, and of course, nobody should think about that when they watch it, but I do because I was there, and so seeing a sequence like that, it's just a real sense of pride to have been part of something that was so well produced and created. And I understand you can always discuss story points, but on a technical level, I think it's going to be very difficult for a long time to surpass.
Game of Thrones is such an important show for so many people here, and we are so honored that you have been here today. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for answering all our questions. And I think you'll hang around, take a couple of pictures, right? Sign some autographs?
Yes, I'm going to go take some pictures.
Do you guys want a picture with Nikolaj Coster-Waldau?
Anyway, thank you so much for coming for this Q&A, and stay inside the air conditioning. And see you later.
Please give it up one more time.
Thank you, sir.